Boy, was it a rough year for Marvel, but I still have 5 books they released in 2024 that I recommend you should check out. Hello and welcome back to John's Comics with Kids. I'm John. I'm doing some of my favorite videos of the year, which are my countdown favorites from the previous year. It was a tough year for Marvel. My favorite books were almost exclusively Image and DC, but that doesn't negate the fact that there were quality comics happening at Marvel. They're just harder to find. And I want to make sure that I at least highlight 5 for you that you should take the time to check out. Maybe you've got the Marvel Unlimited app. Maybe you're going back to your LCS to look for a deal, but here are some Marvel comics you should check out. I'm going to start by a little bit of a cheat here for number 5. I'm talking about events. And Marvel had some very entertaining events this year. I'm usually someone who really dislikes events. And between the Sabretooth War, which I really enjoyed, and of course, Blood Hunt, which I thought was really well done, there was some fun, just classic Marvel events that were original, like I had not seen before, that were entertaining, and that used the whole Marvel universe to a real quality level. In general, over the last, I don't know, however many decades you want to count, events have always been a tricky proposition, and in general have been annoying for me and frustrating when I'm trying to enjoy an ongoing series and then, oh, these next 3 are a Night Terror tie-in, or they're doing another Civil War storyline. So for me, events are usually something to dodge. But I wanted to highlight that I thought Marvel actually did some really quality ones last year, and you should take a look if you have the chance. But let's get into the actual comics. The top 4 are going to be books that I really was enjoying this year, and I'm going to kick it off with Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men. I've made a big stink about not loving the Ultimate era, and this new Ultimate series, whether it's the Ultimates or whether it's Ultimate Spider-Man, some of them have left me a little bit cold. But I love this Ultimate X-Men series. It may be that Peach's artwork speaks to me the same way I've always liked, Scotty Young's artwork. I feel like there is a childlike quality to it, but with Peach, there's almost something sinister lurking inside of it. And she does a great job in this story of capturing some of that. There's a little bit of horror at the edges of this storyline. The frustration most fans have had isn't with the quality, isn't with the art, and isn't with the story. The people that I've heard disliking Ultimate X-Men are it's because they feel like it's not an X-Men book. And that is fair. But that just means they don't like the title. They do like the comic. And in this case, that's the way I feel about it too. I want a Team X-Men book, but what I see here instead is a bunch of young people, characters dealing with different degrees of tragedy and drama in their lives, coming together and learning about their abilities. And that's really a great grounding way to start an Ultimate X-Men comic. I've enjoyed the characters. I've enjoyed the villain, the way they use the Shadow King, really cool. And of course, it all fits Peach's artwork. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Ultimate X-Men, I recommend going back and catching your way up. Next, people might be shocked that this is coming in at number 3, but Storm has been great. I know they've only done a handful of issues, and I'm usually a little more hesitant about these things, but it's been such a quality series so far, especially with great artwork from Lucas Wernick. I couldn't ignore it. The reason it's lower on my list is because they've released so few issues. I want to maybe wait and hold judgment until they've got at least a story arc under their belts. But it's been the most entertaining for me as far as a Storm story that I've had all year. It's been nice that she's had a place where she can, have her own piece of the Marvel universe. I know she's in the Avengers at the same time, but this has been a great way to give her own plot line and her own drama and make it something internal for her, and then bring in those X-Men characters, or they've had Dr. Voodoo and now Dr. Doom. It's been a very entertaining series, and I can't say enough about Lucas Wernick's amazing artwork, because it really has been carrying that book in a big way for me. I just look forward to each turn of the page. That leaves two more. I'm gonna go with Avengers Twilight for my number 2 spot. I loved this miniseries, and it's almost everything I don't look forward to in comics. It's an Elseworld story, it's a future story, it's just a throwaway miniseries, you could argue, but Zdarsky does such a phenomenal job with it and does such a great job of grounding this universe. I thought this was so entertaining, and, it's just a fun read in the same way that I would argue World's Finest at DC is just a fun, you know, it's just a fun way to enjoy a classic comic story. So if you missed Avengers Twilight, lots of great use of the Avengers characters in the Marvel universe, but with that Chip Zdarsky twist to them, I really think it's worth your time. Last but not least, if you saw my thumbnail, you know it's got to be The Incredible Hulk. This book has been great, and I'm so glad I took the time to go back and catch up on what Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein are doing on The Incredible Hulk. Specifically, I want to shout out Nick Klein's artwork again. There were two gaps in time. I think one was a New Orleans storyline, but like when Nick Klein was taking a break, and it's the same when Marco Cicchetto took a break or takes breaks on Ultimate Spider-Man. I feel like the book struggles in a big way without their talent. But overall, man, this is a wild story that they're doing, and I really enjoyed the way this young girl, Charlie, has been connecting with the Hulk. I love the way they're peeling back layers to the mythology of the Hulk. The villainess that they've been dealing with, that journey to Las Vegas was phenomenal. There's been lots of great twists and inclusions. They even went to Strange Academy, saw Dr. Voodoo and the kids. I've really been enjoying it. And every time I go back and catch up on another arc, it's been a lot of fun. I really hope Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein get to be on this title for a lot longer because it really is fun. And I wasn't thinking I would be ready for another Hulk book after Immortal Hulk, but this one has just been spectacular. So if you've missed it, I highly recommend it. So there you go. Those are my favorite Marvel books. I know no Ultimate Spider-Man. I know I'm going to hear about it. It's just not for me, but I would love to hear what other ones you've been reading. Are there other Marvel books I should be checking out? Stuff I missed this year? Shout out to my channel members, those people that help me keep this channel going, that allow me to give away comics at the end of every month. This month, I'm giving away a Beneath the Trees and Where Nobody Sees trade paperback signed by the writer artist. So if you would like to win that, join the channel memberships and you have a shot at it. I also throw in a Storm variant in every box and some other goodies so you can guarantee that hopefully you'll find it's well worth the time. Thanks everybody for coming around, and I'll see you next week when I'll be doing my best indie comics of 2024.